Dear students, in the last classes, we had tried to learn about various forms of businesses, and we have seen that there are many types of the businesses, and they are here: sole proprietorship or sole trade, joint Hindu family business, partnership firm, joint stock company, one person company, cooperative society, and enterprise. We know and we are aware that a person can select any form of business, depends on his conveniency. So in the last class I had explained regarding the sole proprietorship or the sole trading form of a company, form of a business, and today I'll explain these two, that is a joint Hindu family business and a partnership firm. So, joint Hindu family business or a firm. I hope you are aware and you have studied something about this, but still, just to bring back to your mind, something we'll learn today. So, joint Hindu family. I hope you are very aware of this. So, even if you remove this Hindu, because in India this is there, this kind of the business is not existing in other countries or other places, but only in India. So, joint family. I hope you understand. Joint family means where all the family members are united and staying together is called joint family. It's not only the nuclear family. Nuclear families we have today where only the parents and children are there. But here parents and all the siblings, brothers, sisters, and their children, their wives, everybody together, it is called joint family or joint Hindu family. So together all the members of the family joining and doing the business is called joint Hindu family. I hope you got the crux of the theme. So what is exactly, let's have a little explanation on a joint Hindu family business. A business enterprise which is run by the group of people belonging to the same family is known as joint Hindu family business. A group of people who are doing the business are of one family. So all works are carried out by the family members. So one person is a manager, and some are supervisors, and some are workers. So everybody joining together and doing. So in some places you might have seen that home trade businesses and poultry business and all family members join together, three, four together and have. And I remember one of the family has many businesses like agriculture business, then this stone cutting business is there, poultry is there, then travel and tours and travels, bus facilities and all are there. So each person, son is looking after each business, and father is controlling all the business aspect. So I hope that is a best example for the joint Hindu family business. This form of business is operated according to Hindu law, where all the family members, including unmarried daughters and wives, are the members of the business. See, unmarried daughters, if they are married, they don't become the part of the business. Only unmarried daughters and wives who have come as a wife of the sons, they become the member of the family business. In simple terms, joint Hindu family business is that form of business which is carried by all the members of joint Hindu family under the control of Mukhiya. Mukhiya or manager. So Mukhiya means the head of the family. He is called Mukhiya, or he is called manager, or he is called Karta. So these are things you should know, because he is having all the control. The head of the family is having usually the main control of the business. This form of business ownership is based on two facts. There are two things we must know. There are copper scenery and common property. Copper scenery means common ownership in the ancestral property. As for copper scenery, an individual have a right in the family property and can ask for his or her share. This individual is known as the copper scenery. Copper scenery means Now, as I've said in my example, that one family has a various branches of the businesses, and each one is looking after each business. Tomorrow he can ask, give me my share, and he will be taking one part of my business and moving out. So that is copper scenario. Another case is their common property. So according to Hindu law, joint Hindu family possesses a common property which is used for the welfare of all the members of the family, and common property includes ancestral property, property created through ancestral property, and personal property treated as a family property. So even the personal property of a member becomes a family property. So nothing is separated here. In the copper scenario, each individual can take his share and take his own. But in the common property style, even his property, whatever he buys also, that becomes a part of a business. So this is just information regarding the joint Hindu family business. So some more information regarding joint Hindu family business. According to Hindu law, there are two community controlling Hindu families. One is Mitakshara and another is Dayabag. Just for your information, what it is, let's say. Mitakshara is popular in the country except Assam, Bengal, and some parts of Orissa. Under this community, with the birth, a son gets rights in the ancestral property. So, Assam, Bengal, and other parts it's not applicable, but other parts in the Mitakshara, only the son by the birth itself he gets a right in the property. So when he is born, he is getting the property right. But in Dayabhag community exists in Assam, Bengal, and some parts of Orissa. So other places Mitakshara. In Dayabhag, what is the law is, under this community, a son gets rights in the ancestral property only after the death of the father. So he will not get any part of the business until his father is dead. So till then he doesn't get any role. So father only is the head of the business. So only after that, after the death of the father, it comes to the son. That is called Mitakshara, and it is existing. This kind of law is existing in Assam, Bengal, and some parts of Orissa. Rest of the places we have a Mitakshara style in the joint Hindu family business. So son becomes a own what you call having a right in the business. I hope you got the clarity of what joint Hindu family business is. Let's see the characteristics of joint Hindu family business. Joint Hindu family business is operated according to Hindu law. So in the constitution there is a separate Hindu law for the business, joint Hindu family business. So it is operated according to such law. This form of business is controlled and managed by Karta. So already I have said who is Karta. So head of the family, and it is controlled and managed by the. So sometimes he may not be able or old age, then he will distribute to others. But reference is always the signatory. The main reference is the father, because business who is the proprietor means it is said his name. It may be managed by somebody else. The liability of all the members, because the members are called corporationers, except Karta, is limited up to the individual's interest in the ancestral property. The liability of the Karta is unlimited. What it says is, liability means the losses that are incurred, it is always goes to the head of the family. Each individual goes, means if he has some other property in his name and all, that doesn't come to the business liability. Only the father becomes responsible. He is the unlimited liability. This form of business is easy to start as there is no need of any registration. So you don't require a registration from the joint Hindu family, because in the family you are starting a business and doing the business. So this doesn't require you any kind of registration of the business. Shares of the family members may increase or decrease with the birth of new member or death of existing member. You see, shares is each member is a share there. So automatically what happens, if somebody is dead, automatically his share is reduced. Somebody is born, then he too is getting a share in the business. So that way it counts and it goes on. Therefore, shares depends on the death and birth of the persons in the family. This is more permanent form of business than sole trade, as there is not effect of any death or on the business. See, in the sole trading, you are aware that if the proprietor or the main person is expired, then that business will be closed because it is only he knows what the business is. In the joint Hindu family, it is not the case. If the Karta is dead, then another person becomes a head of the family and he will take care of the business. So it goes on continuing, and it is there is no end unless all the members of the family join together and decide to close the business. Otherwise, this business will not be closed down. So that's what exactly this point says. In the soul trading, the continuity is a question mark. Death of a person is affected. Here, death of the person doesn't affect. So these are the characteristics of joint Hindu family. I hope you have understood. And one thing I will be telling you, that there are advantages of joint Hindu family business, there are disadvantages of joint Hindu family business, but I am not going to explain to you because you have already studied this concept. I don't want to waste my time in expanding these topics. Just be clear that even such questions may appear for the exams, and get ready for that. So let's move to the another form of business, that is a partnership firm. So what is partnership? Two or more members join together becomes a partner. If one person only does a business, then it is a sole trading. The moment there is two people join together, or three people, or any number of the people more than two, so it becomes a partnership firm. So let's see what partnership firm is and some characteristics. Again, I am telling you here also that advantages and disadvantages. Just for the first sole trading I have given, so that you will get a clear picture of what sole trading, how to go about. But here onwards, I'll be giving only the characteristics, and I don't explain to you any kind of the advantages and disadvantages. Please you refer and get ready. Information of advantages and disadvantages. If each form of a business, everywhere they are available, and you have already studied. So just to give you a glimpse of these forms of a business, I am trying you. So now, partnership firm. What is partnership firm? Partnership form of business ownership is that form in which two or more than two individuals willingly join together and start some lawful entrepreneurial activity. Some words you must clearly become aware here. Say, willingly join together, no force. So they have to be a partnership businessman. Two or three people willingly join together, then start some lawful entrepreneurial activity. So not illegal or unlawful, that should be a lawful activity. A partnership firm is an association of two or more persons who run business together for the objective of profit earning. Then, according to Section 4 of the Indian Partnership Act 1932, partnership is the relation between persons who have agreed to share the profits of a business carried on by all or any of them acting for all. So, this is something very important. Partnership is the relation between persons who have agreed to share the profits. This is what in the partnership business, you are agreed to share the profits of a business carried on by all or any of them acting for all. Sometimes what happens is there are sleeping partners. One partner just giving you a capital, but he does not involve in the business, but profit share is there for him. So sometimes what happens is there are many partners, but only one partner is executing the business. Now shop, for example, most of the shops looks to be a one person owning there because he is conducting the business. It's not true. Sometimes there are other people, and when the profit share comes for his managing and all everything, that charge will be taken out, and after that what remains, that will be shared among the partners. Based on this definition, it can be said that partnership is a kind of agreement between two or more than two persons to run the business and divide the profits of the business. These persons are known as partners, and their group is called firm, and the name under which they run their business is known as the name of the firm. So partners and the group is called the firm, and the name under which they run the business. So particular name they will give. So what you call now, for example, we can we can say that Usha company. So Usha company means it is given by the some or two or more people join together. So in the same way we you may have any name for that. So under that it becomes a one person, one business entity. So some more features of the partnership firm we'll see now. To establish a business under partnership form, there is a need of two or more than two persons. The Partnership Act does not fix any limit on the number of partners, but as per Companies Act, the number of partners cannot be more than 10 in banking business and 20 in any other business. See, Companies Act has made it very clear, if you are going for a partnership firm, then the members, if you are doing a banking business, the private banks and all, so there should be a number only 10. If you are taking out any other businesses, then you can have a more than you can have up to 20 members. If the number of partners reduces below 2 and more than 10 or 20, then business is declared illegal. So that business doesn't become a legal one, illegal, because partnership forms means this is what the condition. So either in a banking case only 10 members maximum, and the moment less than 2 means it becomes a 1 and it becomes a sole trading. So automatically, if it is sole trading, then you have to close down all the with the legal formalities, removal of the partner and all, and take up as an individual. The existence of partnership firm comes from contract between members and not from status. The existence of partnership firm comes from contract between members and not from status. It is important to have a contract between partners to be a legal firm. The agreement contract between partners is known as partnership deed. The agreement that is made between the partners is known as a partnership deed, we say, because the contract they have to make it, they have to write down norms and conditions of the conducting the business, otherwise confusions may take place in the future. There must be an agreement between partners to share profit or loss, as profit is the main motive of the business. How you are going to share the profit? How much of the profit share you are retaining in a business, and how you are sharing? That conditions has to be cleared in a writing. Each partner is responsible collectively or individually for all the liabilities of partnership. Hence, in partnership form of business ownership, liability of the partners is unlimited. What happens is, in the partnership business, if your business is going a loss, then all the partners are responsible for that liability. They can't say that I am not responsible for the loss. No individual liability here. Everybody is liable for the loss or the damage that takes place in the business. Therefore, the liability of every partner is unlimited. It is very easy to form a partnership firm as there is no legal binding on registration of firm. Agreement may be oral or written. If partners want to register their firm, the procedure is very simple. So it is a easy form because there is no much legal binding, because when you are going for a company, as I will be explaining in the next class, that's a joint stock company, then you have so many legal formalities, but whereas in this case they are not there. So some more features of partnership firm. This form of business is flexible in nature. If partner want to change their business, it can be changed. So it is a flexible, you can change. But what happens is your partners have to agree. Today you are running a hotel, but tomorrow you find that in our hotel there is a loss. So next day you can put a general store. but your partner also has to agree with that. Due to unlimited liability, partners put their whole heated efforts to run their business. So, profit or loss comes to everyone. That's why everybody will contribute a lot. This is a kind of advantage of the partnership form. Then next, due to limited number of partners, partnership firm may not raise much capital as other forms like companies can generate. So in the companies you are aware that any number of capital could be obtained or capital could be raised through issue of the shares. But here it's not possible because you don't have a share system, only the partners, and the number of partners also maximum 20 means you see only from 20 people you can conduct. So for a huge scale of business you will not be able to go. In partnership, a partner cannot transfer his interest share in the firm to outsiders without the consent of all partners. So this is another drawback I can say, that you are a partner of a business. Tomorrow you want to give your share to your wife or to somebody else outsider, but you can't do that unless other partners are agreeing with that. Future of partnership firm is always uncertain. It may come to an end on the death of any partner and insolvency of any partner, etc. Sometimes what happens is one of the partners says, I am no more, oh, I don't want to continue the business anymore. So what happens is automatically another person individually not able to continue, because if he wants to continue as a sole trader, then he has to give money for the partner, so he may not be able in a condition to pay me. So at the same time, if he doesn't want, this man also cannot continue. So there is a problem. This form of business is suitable for small scale business and for those which require less capital investment. So this is not applicable or possible for all the this one. Only for small scale businesses this is applicable, and some kind of the medium businesses and somewhere you don't require a much capital investment, such businesses could be carried out through the partnership firm. So I hope you understood what partnership firm business is and the characteristics. Here I close, and I hope I have told that you have to prepare a business plan, and for the business plan this is a much assisting for you what kind of a business to start. Now if are you going to start a partnership, then you can have this one. Are you going to have a joint in the family? If you have already business in the family, you can think of that and give me the details, or sole trading. So if you don't want these also, we'll go for the next classes other three forms of the business. In a one class only I will be explaining you other three forms of the business. They are joint stock company, one person company, and cooperative society. So there will be closing the forms of the business. Thank you.